Hello all, thank you if you still subscribe to me. I've not made any channel, not put any videos up on my channel in a while. I've had no CB equipment to actually test, so hopefully in the next few months when the summer comes round the corner I'll get something that I haven't reviewed before. This is motorcycle related, a quick hopefully a quick video. I've wrote stuff down to remember. Anybody who's not interested in motorbikes, it's time to look elsewhere, because you're not really going to be interested. Following my health scare and my heart attack 14 months ago that I've managed to get through, and stent fitted and tablets for the rest of my life, I'm plodding on. So still going, still kicking, still alive. Sadly, because of my circumstances at the time, I had to get rid of my motorbike because I was only receiving £72 a week for about 4 months till they stopped me benefit. So I've had to get a couple of part-time jobs. I actually do work 8 hours a day at the moment, but 2 part-time jobs. I've tried to find a location. We'll come to this motorbike in a second, because this is what the video is about. But I've tried to find a location where it's quiet and there's no people to continually disturb me, because wherever I seem to go, where I live, even if it's down a canal, there's always somebody coming around the corner, and then they get inquisitive when they see you with a video camera. You know, what's he up to? But so as you can see from this sign, I found a closed road in the countryside, and I went down it for about a mile, so I ain't got a clue exactly where I am. Somewhere around Widdeybrook. Sheep seem to be running up to the fence over there, look. Maybe it's food time, who knows. It's fairly cold today. It's 8 degrees currently, and when you breathe you've got condensation, fog coming out your mouth. But nevertheless, I do feel warm. My hands are cold, but I feel warm, so that's one good thing. Anyway, recently my son passed his motorcycle test, and I don't know, about 8 months ago now, and we did a bit of a road trip about 10 days ago. I had a little 125 bike that I wasn't very happy with, and having owned big bikes all my life, right up to the Hayabusas, Super Blackbirds, Fireblades, Kawasaki ZX-10s, etc, etc. Basically, he passed his test and he bought this bike. He never had that much money at the time. He's now got a Ducati Monster 696. He loves that bike, but he bought this bike. It stood in a garage for 4 years unused, in the corner of a garage. A lady owned it. He threw a lot of love and money at it, and I've got to throw a lot of love at it to complete what he started. He's done the majority of it, and he spent quite a lot of money on this bike, so I thought I'd do a little review on it. Fazer 600, I can't remember what the model number is. I'll put it on the screen, an FZS, I don't know. I'm not good at remembering stuff. I've even got a list in my tank bag of the stuff that he's done to it. So for start off, he wasn't very happy with the handling on the bike with his partner on, so he put a jacking up kit, linkage kit. I'm not sure exactly what you call it, because I've never had one myself on any of my bikes. The exhaust system, the downpipes, the 4 downpipes were a bit tatty and rusty, and I think it had a couple of tiny holes in here and there what were blowing, so he bought some new headers and downpipes, stainless steel. And then he got the end can, the Lextech end can for it, which the baffles are in at the moment. It does sound quite nice, but apparently it sounds really nice if you take the baffles out, Dad. Just for cosmetic and appearance, he bought a digital, I don't think it's digital, an LED backlight with indicators. It still has the indicators, so so it obviously is legal, because I remember when these came out a few years ago, I was debating buying one for one of my GSXRs. So it's had the jacking up kit, the rear LED light, rear LED indicators, front LED indicators. He's a bit taller than me. I'm about 5'10.5" to 5'11". I think he's 6'2", so he got a double bubble screen, a dark one to try and keep the wind off him, because he sits higher than me, being taller than me. He got these tyres. He did a bit of research and he liked the tyres, so we got these Michelin Pilot front tyre, Pilot Rose 3 it's called. And then he did a bit more research and he got a Pirelli. I'm not sure what this actually is. I'll put it on the screen. I can't see where it says what it is, but it's a Pirelli something or other, whatever it be. I'm not sure if it's a Road Angel. I'll have to ask him on that one. Then he put the blue, is it X on? I'm not good at remembering names of stuff because it's stuff I've never done to bikes, but I'll turn the lights on. Got my phone up running because the speedo's not working. I haven't really done that top speed where it says 103, that must have been somebody else on the way here. But got those blue lights on, the ones what you get sort of a starter. If I can show you those. Is it on? No. Do they work while the engine's not running? Turned it off now, look. Blimey, what's going on here? Ah, that's it. It is actually on. Lights up everything. He was well impressed with that. And if you flick the switch, both of them come on. But I won't do that because I'll know me. I'll probably flatten the battery and be stuck here. So basically, when he had the new tyre fitted on the front, the guy at the place wherever it was, he had it done, didn't put the wheel back in, well, the wheel's in correctly, but the little speedo drive, there's 4 magnets, so I'm told, and people generally get them wrong, and when you put it in, it breaks the mechanism. It's like a magnetic sensor to an electronic speedo with an electric cable that runs from the hub to the speedo, so the speedo doesn't work. So at some point I've got to get the wheel took out and see if I can glue the magnets back on or see how broken it is, or buy a new one so the speedo's working again. The bike's done very low mileage for its year. It's a 1998 model. It did the most of its mileage, 20 odd thousand in its first 3 years, and then my son says over about an 8-year period it only did 400 miles, and then of course the lady he bought it off, it stood in the garage for 4 years. So a few faults have occurred during this time. The tank at the bottom I don't know if it had some water in it or whatever, started getting a bit festery. Underneath this bit here appeared a few little rust holes, started leaking petrol, so he got some, I'm not sure what it's called, but he got some stuff anyway, it's resistant to petrol, and he filled it, did all that, and it was okay for a while. But then he had another little leak. So anyway, onto this road trip. About 10 days ago I caught 3 trains from Nuneaton, where I live, to Yarmouth. I did 2 changeovers, 3 trains, cost me about 68 quid I think. Got there about, I don't know, 2 PM. Got all my tackle on, put all my clothes on to ride back with him. Sadly his granddad was in a bit of a bad state and hadn't got long to live. So my son wanted to have a bit of a ride with his dad, and also sort of say goodbye to his granddad, who sadly died the next morning while my son was travelling back home on his bike. But the circle of life. But so anyway, my son's give this bike a lot of love and spent a lot of money on it. It's had a new chain and sprockets recently. When I picked it up, it had just come back, it had the carbs off and cleaned and serviced. He's got some, just had two new coil packs as well in the last month. New chain and sprockets, 2 new tyres, the headlamp. What have I forgot? I've got it right. Oh, handle grips and bar ends. They're, I don't think it needed them. That was just something my son did for whatever reason. And he changed the handlebars and put some rental bars because he didn't like the style, or I don't know. I don't know the reason, but he put those rental handlebars on. The paint's wearing a bit thin in places, so I'll have to probably get it resprayed. It can't be tea-cutted, I don't think. It's very thin in places, the paint is. It won't even, it shines, but there's no depth to the colour. So that's all got to be sprayed in the summer, or vinyl wrapped, I'm not sure which. And the front is also very similar. It's not showing any bold patches, but it's looking a bit tatty and used. Have I forgotten anything here? Oh, discs and sintered pads. He put some new pads on it. I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything. because the dashboard doesn't display a temperature gauge as such, I thought that was an oil cooler, but apparently it is a radiator and it is water cooled. So and there is a water light on the rev counter, temperature light when it gets too hot. So it's nice to have a bit of power anyway, and get from 125 back to something with a bit of power. I think these are about, I don't know, 95 brake horsepower. The brakes, even though they do work very well, allegedly R1 brakes stuck on this Fazer from standard, but the initial bite, when you just give it a little, the sensitivity when you just give it a bit of pressure, not a lot seems to happen, and then you give it a bit more and then you get more of a reaction than what you expected. And I can't say I've ever experienced that in all the bikes I've had, and I've had quite a lot of bikes over the last 15 years, right up to Hayabusas and, like I say, Super Blackbirds and Fireblades. I've had all sorts except an R1, never owned one of those. And that's about it. I hope I haven't bored you stupid. Yeah. Oh, the jacking up kit, I have to use a centre stand, because now it's at that much of a precarious angle, the bike would probably fall over if you put the side stand on. And when you've got it on the centre stand with this linkage jack up back kit, whatever you want to call it, the tyre is actually touching the floor. I'm not a fan of all this, to be fair. I've asked him to, he's got all the standard equipment for the bike, so at some point in the summer I might get it put back to stock, but he says he didn't like the way it handled with his partner on the back. So he did what he thought was best. But thanks for watching, everybody. You all take care. I guess really I should start it up so you can hear it. Now then, I've left it in neutral because I've got this bad habit. I've got this bad habit of leaving it in gear. He's also put a little LED, what do I keep saying? USB charger. Oh, there's my neutral. My hands are getting bitter now. Wouldn't be right not to let you hear the engine, would it? And it's done about 22,000 miles, and the clock packed in about 2 months ago. So it's probably done about 22,800 miles by now, but as I say, I will get the clock sorted. Thanks for watching all. You all take care till next time.